result of racism from other structures. My next prompt is Jesus is fully God. I agree that Jesus is God. I agree that there's only two in the Godhead family. I disagree with the Trinity doctrine because that's not biblical. He was sent from God. He was doing the works of his Father. He was doing what his Father told him. So he wasn't fully God. He was not, because he was in the flesh. The Abrahamic promise disproves Hebrew Israelism. I disagree that the Abrahamic promise disproves Israelite, because without Israel, if the Most High doesn't keep his promise to Israel, then no other nation can enter. If you're saying that, Hebrew Israelite theology is excluding everyone, then yes, I guess the Abrahamic promise would disprove it. Hi everyone, welcome to the Dr. Daff Show. I'm your host. So I would tell you that this whole idea has Mr. Idumea behind it. It's just a crafty work to sow more confusion and to shake up the faith of you sincere sisters that may be out there, that may be influenced by seeing these other sisters rallying up and having these discussions that they ought not to be having. This is just a crafty counsel to sow confusion and strife in the faith. And you got this Dr. Michelle Daff hosting such confusion. And they would get this Eve to do so. Just know Mr. Idumea, Mr. Esau is behind all of this. He's the hidden hand that orchestrated this whole scenario that we're looking at and scrutinizing. Dr. Michelle Daff, and I'm sitting here today with one Christian woman, Shayla. Hello. Having a conversation with 7 Hebrew Israelite women talking around faith. How you feeling, Shayla? I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good and excited. Great. Well, we're excited for this conversation. I'm going to go ahead and let you take the floor. Revelation 1 does not teach Jesus was black. Now, why do they got them showing? Why are they doing musical chairs? Why are they switching chairs like that and seem to be isolating one woman from the other? Why are they swapping chairs and creating distances between themselves like that? I'll tell you why. It's psychological warfare. That's a tactic. It's a tactic to sow division among the minds of similar women who are watching this. That's what they're doing. They're sowing confusion, having them get up, switch seats, isolate this woman, distance themselves from this woman or that woman. It's all subliminal attacks to shake up the faith of such women who may be impressionable to seeing this many women together sharing the same faith. So just know that. Just know that they're working witchcraft and sorcery, having these women switch chairs and distance themselves and create all this, what looks like to be disagreements among each other by the distance that they placed between themselves with that row of chairs. Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm Les. Nice to meet you, ladies. I'm Shayla. My first prompt is Revelation 1 does not teach Jesus was black. The reason I picked this prompt is I'm aware that not every single person who identifies as a Hebrew Israelite agrees with. So we're going to see the crafty wordplay come from this woman here. All right. And you're going to see it. And I'm going to go ahead and call it out with the scriptures. We're going to nip it in the bud so you know exactly what she's doing when she starts to speak the rhetoric that she speaks and how she twists up the scriptures with her vain philosophies. This is the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 12. For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure the things that are honest, and the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind. So just know that from those women changing chairs and creating distance between themselves to the crafty wordplay that comes out of this woman, that's what's happening. It is an act of sorcery. It is bewitchment, especially to those viewers who may identify with this group of women, right? It's all psychological warfare and witchcraft. I wouldn't even be I wouldn't be surprised if these 7 women are actually of the Nicolaitan doctrine, acting as if they are in the faith.
But many people in the Black Hebrew Israelite community will claim emphatically that Jesus Christ is Black, and they'll point to Revelation 1 and different symbolism that we see within the verses of Revelation, like his hair being white like wool, and they'll say, well, his hair is wool.
And notice she used the word Black Hebrew Israelite. Know that that's a demonizing term, okay? Because quote unquote Black Hebrew Israelite isn't in the scriptures, right? We know that the Hebrews came in all shades, right? Because they were scattered. They were scattered among the world, and many of our forefathers took in women from the other nations. So as you have that happen over 1,000 years, you know, we look different, but it's the spirit that shows it. You know, so just know that's another demonizing term, because you got Israelites of Native Americans, of the Hispanics, quote unquote, of the quote unquote blacks that may look like the other nations as well. So just know that's a demonizing term when they say Black Hebrew Israelite, because we know at the end of the day, Black is a social construct, because every person that you call Black is not actually Black. They're just different shades of brown. Let it continue.
This is describing a Black man. Same thing with his feet like bronze. We'll say who has, what his color is bronze, that's brown. That means that he was a brown man. And I want to be very clear, I'm also not claiming to know Jesus' exact skin color. I think we can all agree Jesus was not a white man. We can definitely agree on that. But I'm not claiming to know his exact skin color. I'm just saying that when we look at Revelation, we have to make sure that we're reading it accurately. And Revelation is apocalyptic literature written by the Apostle John. And it was never meant to describe what Jesus looked like. It was always meant to describe who Jesus is, as it's a prophecy of what's to come, and it's telling us his glory and his radiance as his return. So, yeah, I don't think we should read Revelation 1 literally, and I think that we're going to see a lot of discrepancies if we do read it literally. So that's why I picked this prompt, and hopefully we can maybe even agree on some stuff.
So I'll go ahead and start. Because in Revelation 1, it does say his feet was like brass burned into a furnace. So I can agree with you on that. I can't say.
I'm not going to lie. This is hard to listen to. Okay? This is really hard to listen to. And I'm going to try to go ahead and make this quick, because I don't want to suffer y'all to have to listen to this nonsense, right? We got an overall idea of the questions that were asked and the responses that were given, but I'm not going to let this continue too much longer until I get straight to the scriptures, because it's hard for me to sit and listen to this right now as I'm trying to complete this lesson. And I'm pretty sure y'all are struggling to listen to this too, but I'm going to let it play a little bit more, and then I'm going to get to the scriptures.
That is saying that he is Black. But the reason why I believe he was a melanated man is because we see certain scriptures like in Solomon how it says, I am Black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, like the tents of Kedar. And when you look at the tents of Kedar, it's Black, and they make it out of like sheep's wool. So that's, and we know that Solomon was of the same bloodline of Christ. So that's One of the reasons why I believe that he was black, he also, in Song of Solomon, talks about his bushy locks. And we know that melanated people usually have locks. So that's why I do believe that he was a melanated man.
Yeah, I would love to address the burnished bronze part, and then I'd love to also get into Solomon as well. But that burnished bronze, the reason I believe it's symbolic is because there's symbolic symbolism used all throughout this chapter. So we can't just pick and choose. This one's literal, but this one's symbolic, right? Because otherwise you'd have to answer the question, what ethnicity has tongues that are made out of swords? What ethnicity, has eyes made out of fire, right? Obviously you wouldn't take those to be literal. So then if we take the feet to be symbolic, right?
So right now we're hearing that verbal wordplay that equates to witchcraft and sorcery that we just read in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 12. That's what she's doing right now. She's twisting up the scriptures with her own vain ideology and philosophy to refute the truth that has already been revealed to us pertaining to the revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach. All right. She's trying to take the physical features that were documented in Revelation 1 as something symbolic and trying to compare that to, the power and the authority that was expressed by him having a swords in his mouth. Right? And no, and see, that's just that demonic, devilish wordplay that is common among Adumia concerning the scriptures. Let it continue.
I think that we're missing the greater picture of what the author's trying to say, and we know that burnished bronze is describing bronze lit on fire, and this is a reference to Daniel and also a reference to Ezekiel. And this is actually so amazing because it's showing the glory of who our God is. It's saying that Jesus is Yahweh, because Daniel and Ezekiel have a vision of Yahweh, and it says that he had arms and legs that were bronze, and we know bronze represents.
See, she up here speaking Yiddish, calling the Most High Yahweh. We know that his name is not Yahweh. It's none of that. When you go to the Paleo Hebrew, it's Yahweh, which in the Yiddish language is Jehovah, how it's been transcribed in the Bible. And you can reference that in Exodus chapter 6, verse 3. Let's go to that real quick. Exodus chapter 6, verse 3. This is Exodus chapter 6, verse 3. And I appeared unto Abraham and unto Isaac and unto Jacob by the name of God Almighty, but my name Jehovah, which in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh, was I not known to them. But by my name Yahweh was I not known to them. So Yahweh is the correct transliteration of Jehovah when you go into the Paleo Hebrew. It's not no damn Yahweh. It's not no damn Yahuwah. It's none of that.
Judgment in the Old Testament because the altars were made out of bronze. The sword that was the stake that was lifted up was made out of bronze, right, for the Israelite people. And even the same author, John, he writes, as the stake was lifted up, so Christ was lifted up. He's quoting Jesus. And so we know that bronze is symbolic of judgment. So it's saying the feet of Christ are sturdy with judgment. And the burnished part is...
See, and the Most High going to destroy this woman, and he's going to destroy all these other women that are entertaining this woman as she spew all that nonsense, twisting up the scriptures, adding to the scriptures, and producing a vain philosophy to refute the actual image of the Messiah. I'm done hearing these people talk. I'm done hearing these women talk. So we're going to get to the scriptures. We're just going to hurry up and get to the scriptures and cut this mess to shreds. This is the book of First Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. For the Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. So what we're witnessing right now is nothing but confusion. See, why they sitting like that? That's how you know it's confusion, how they keep changing chairs and stuff. And they got this woman spewing all this Idumean nonsense, this Idumean philosophy, this doctrine of the Nicolaitans, spewing all that and having these women just sit up there and listen to her and let her spew all that mess. Man, if they were in the spirit, they would have all just got up and left. But they not in the spirit. They just a bunch of Jezebels wanting to have the same authority as a man. 1 Corinthians 14:33. For the Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all the churches of the saints. Verse 34. Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted to them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. So yeah, they're not permitted to speak in this manner. So like I said, this was just nothing but a whole bunch of confusion that was conjured up to spread more confusion. Verse 35. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in the church. So I would say, if any of these women have husbands, their husbands are weak as fuck. Their husbands are weak as fuck to allow them to get on here and produce this confusion that we're seeing. First Corinthians chapter 14, verse 36. What? Came the word of the Most High out from you, or came it unto you only? So why is the word of the Most High coming out of you? That's basically what Aksha'al is talking about here. Like, what? The word's coming from you? He's saying that out of amazement, out of disbelief. Like, no, the word can't be coming out of you. You're not a prophet. You're not a man of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. So why are you speaking on these matters as if you are? This is the book of Sirach, also known as Ecclesiasticus, chapter 42, verse 13. For from the garments cometh a moth, and from women wickedness. Sirach 42:14. Better is the churlishness of a man than a courteous woman. A woman, I say, which bringeth shame and reproach. And see, these same women here, they fit the category of 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 5. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. They deny the power thereof because they're doing what they're not supposed to be doing. They're trying to act as if they're the prophets. They're trying to speak as if they have the authority to speak as the prophets. This is the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 7. Surely the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah, will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. Not the prophetess, the prophets. And who are the prophets? Psalms 147 verse 19 tells us, he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. The prophets are of Yasharallah, no other nation. How we know that? First of all, how we know it's not prophetess, right? Let's go back to that. Let's take a step back. How do we know that prophetess aren't revealed the secrets? James chapter 5 verse 10. Take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. So we know the prophets are men from James chapter 5, verse 10, equating the prophets as brethren, not sisters, brethren. And how do we know that the prophets are of Yasharallah and no other nation? Psalm chapter 147, verse 20. He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. So that's how we know that the rhetoric that this woman's spewing is a whole bunch of nonsense, of vainglorious opinions and philosophies of the heathen that this woman is expressing to refute the facts that have already been brought out in the truth. May peace, serenity, and prosperity be multiplied unto you all. Shalom.